everyone. Welcome back to the Spawn on Me Wardcast Collab Couch, to our second segment of the day. I'm Delavento.
I am Kahlief Adams. What up?
And we're joined by Mike Williams, reviews editor over at US Gamer.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well. It's been this is technically day 3 for me.
Is it day 3?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, man. It starts real Saturday. I got in the morning, and then things started.
Were you doing like EA stuff and like on that day?
I didn't have to do EA Play, but I was doing other stuff. Like E3 gets longer.
Yes. Yeah. That's weird.
Soon it will be like 2 weeks. Then it will just stretch on.
The whole month.
It'll be the month of E3.
Yeah.
It'll be it'll be like Black History Month. It'll just be E3. It'll just be 28 days of E3.
And then eventually it's going to be GDC, and then you finish GDC, and then
you go right
straight
into
into
E3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad, but it's fun because we get to see all these games.
Yeah.
And then the Ubisoft thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Ubisoft stuff on Sunday.
Wow.
And then when they announced the stuff, then I already had the articles
Right.
That's great.
I'm always curious about like what the structure of that stuff is, because like I was seeing like, Polygon, Waypoint, like everyone putting their stuff out. Like you had to get that trailer like beforehand. Like there's no way you wrote that fast.
Yeah. We basically, Ubisoft had their thing Sunday, and I saw a bunch of stuff, and then wrote it up, and then it was all like they let us know, here's the embargo, and it's going up. So like Watch Dogs, they announced it, and then I think it was
They leaked it, and then
and they seeded it to everyone. And they had made a fake hashtag, and then it was up.
even with the leaks, they rolled with it like really.
Yeah.
Like some people get like real angry, but they were just like, it's a thing.
I mean, it's no Walmart Canada Rage 2, but
I'm sure the conversations behind the scenes were not really pleasant and super chill. I'm sure people were like, "Yo, what the hell happened?
Yeah,
like, who
man.
said something? Who was drunk instead of thing?" Yeah, like that's like we just talked about in the last segment, like the anatomy of a leak, of just like how that thing works and then how it happens and stuff, and just like I just feel so bad for those folks when it does actually go out like that.
Yeah, because there's like going to be like an hour of just like in the office, just like sobbing, person like rolling back and forth, like, oh no, this is all going to be just
PR
horrible.
person, fetal position on the floor. It'll be okay. Just put it out a press release.
And like, it's a little sad, but it still works. Like Watch Dogs, you knew it was coming.
Right.
Yeah.
But even then, seeing it at the actual presentation is still fantastic.
Yeah.
I think some of my friends and colleagues were disagreeing with me, but I honestly believed Ubisoft had a very strong showing with their slate. Like, I mean, we can talk about all of them, but like, I felt like Microsoft had a lot of cool stuff to show, but I felt like that presser overall ended on kind of a low note. Like, it felt like it was building up to something, and then it didn't.
It's really weird because like Microsoft, I feel like they had a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
But none of it was particularly anything that I was excited about. Because I think like it built up to Halo Infinite, which should be.
Well, let's do this. I'm glad you both kind of jumped in on that. Let's kind of run down the slate of all the press conferences. We'll start off on Saturday.
Sure.
With EA Play and all that business. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts on EA Play stuff?
Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, man, it's Jedi Uncharted Star Wars. Which is weird because that's what we thought they were making at the Ragtag, that Visceral game. But of course that got canceled.
So it was like that Denny Green, we are what we thought they were kind of thing. It was like that kind of deal.
Which I'm excited. I love Star Wars, so I'm gonna play it. But like as a showcase game, okay. And then everything else is.
It's a known quantity.
Yeah. But
that FIFA though.
I mean, Volta is going to be the thing that transformative.
And I was a little sad that there was no like Madden Volta. Like now that the Volta idea, like bringing Street back in the middle of EA Sports games, do that.
It makes me
play
so
that
sad.
game.
It makes me so sad because they just need to bring EA Big back.
They do.
It would be so good if they just brought EA Big back. It would be so perfect.
Or EA Sports. It's in the game.
It's in the street. At this point, like your business, it's in the street.
I was relatively young when the EA Sports, it's in the game, and the EA challenge everything stuff was like their mantra and the bumper. So it's like kind of brainwashed into me. Like you challenge everything. Like
it's good marketing.
Hear it in my head.
Really good marketing. They like nailed that thing for years. It's super good.
Yeah, so like EA.
So apparently, the demo they're giving people on the floor or like in meetings is much better than that trailer they showed.
Yes, this is what I've heard from the person on my team who went to it.
Right.
He was like, why didn't they just show the one they showed us on the... I don't know.
Maybe they're gun shy. Maybe they bad juju with all the...
I mean, well, think about it too, right? It's like you have this huge stage show with all these folks, Greg Miller and the rest of the crew kind of hosting all that stuff. And then you have this really tight vertical slice of the thing that you're trying to show so that no one hates you.
Yeah.
And also that the folks from Star Wars are happy. So it's like, I'm sure that the vetting process of like getting all that thing chopped up and together for those folks so that they can give something out that was kind of like bite size and then give people a little bit more would be the, hook on the end of the line of the line.
And building the right vertical slice is real. That's real hard. Like a lot of people don't realize they have to like there's the rest of the team and then they go over here and they build like a small bit of the game. For months just to make that work. So it's I just, why wouldn't you put your best foot forward?
I like how they just like abandoned NBA Live. Like, can you just talk about how they just didn't like even rep NBA Live? Like they just joined. They was like, we don't.
They didn't rep NBA Live and Anthem. Poor Anthem.
You know what? I didn't think about that. You're so right. They didn't mention Anthem at. No,
that
wait.
Was like the glittering
did they talk about it at all in there? Like any of that stuff?
They had like a before E3 that's like Cataclysm. Anyways.
Yeah. But they didn't talk about that in their presser at all when they had that. Wow.
And they didn't have anything else, and I think it's maybe smart. Like, just don't talk about it for like 6 months, 8 months, a year.
Do the work and then come back.
Well, that's the thing, and that's the trend we're seeing so much that, as more and more games become games as a service and service platforms, is that it's just a trend now. It's just the game comes out, everyone hates it, and then they go back and they're like, all right, well, we dumped all this money into it, and also like we want this to be like a living document, so to say, for as a game. So like we can't just abandon it outright. It's not like, it's not Mass Effect Andromeda where it's like it's a product, it's a pre-existing product, and it's like, all right, well, we just don't have to touch it anymore. Right. It's like, no, we there's this assumed investment. So like you look at Fallout 76 and you look at Anthem and you look at Ubisoft has the most history with this, so they know what they're doing by this point. Like For Honor and Rainbow Six Siege and The Division and all that other stuff. It's like they're familiar with this like very emotional cycle of like game comes out, people were excited, and now there's like this trough that they have to like build out of.
Right.
And they'll keep going. Like I was surprised they've released a trailer at this for Steep, which
I didn't catch that.
Utterly forgot.
What?
Right? See,
why?
Steep had a like, hey, we got a new mountain thing to work with.
I own that game on PS Plus, so sure.
And I would think like, if I were like an executive or something, like I liked Steep, but it's not.
You're talking about their T simulator, right? Steep.
No, really,
it's good.
Really,
it's good.
We're gonna.
Yeah.
Can we tell him I'm not?
Yeah, just that camera.
I feel good about that joke. I thought about that right on the spot.
But like Ubisoft, like Steep, the crew too, they're like, sure, let's just keep going. We'll keep supporting it because that builds trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also they have the infrastructure for it. Like when you have like 87 studios, you can afford to do it. Like whatever. Like we'll make another Bratz game or whatever and make the money back.
We're still making Just Dance for the Wii.
Yo,
like the original
not even Wii U.
But here's the crazy thing, right? Because you were in the Ubi presser.
We were watching it, yeah.
And I was in the audience. And anytime Just Dance, when they do that whole spiel, everybody comes out on stage. It turns into vuvuzelas just blaring on stuff. People in the audience go wild. Like they love that IP. They love that franchise.
They do, except for the year that it was Jason Derulo.
Weird, right?
Right.
Weird, right?
Like for the Just Dance thing, like people want the stage show, but they don't want like an actual name. Like just show us some weird people in costumes doing a massive dance.
Somersaults and panda mascot.
Doing all the flippy flips. That's funny. Man. What was the one that came after? Who's next up? Microsoft, right?
Yeah. The 2 hour marathon.
Microsoft was up next.
What happened in that press conference? Because I was in it, like I was on board.
Yeah.
And then like that Halo Infinite mixed with like the Scarlet announcement, like completely lost me.
Were there stuff in there that you really like? Besides the stuff that you just talked about, was there anything that kind of stood out?
The Double Fine acquisition was
That
like
was really big.
a huge deal to me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I come from the indie side.
Yeah.
And indie folks don't like it when
Yeah.
indie darling studios get acquired by big companies because the big company is going to ruin the studio. And I'm just like, look, if you you don't have to follow that. You don't have to follow Double Fine intimately. And they do a lot of like documentary work about their studio and stuff. And I really like it. But even if you have a cursory glance at that stuff, like you look at like Psychonauts Psychonauts 1's trouble development, you look at Brutal Legends trouble development, you look at like how hard they had to work for so long for just to make sure any game of theirs got published. If I was Tim Schafer, heck yeah, I'd take that deal.
Yeah.
Because and it's some might call it ignorant to just accept at face value that Microsoft and the Xbox division is going to, not touch these studios and be very gracious with them.
Sure.
But I have faith in Phil Spencer. I feel like Phil Spencer's running a tight, good ship with the Microsoft division and with Double Fine and Exile, Obsidian, just these studios that they're acquiring. They're acquiring talent. Like Obsidian's been in the same position as well.
Oh, sure.
They've struggled for so long.
Right, and that's what I was about to say. Like some of them, like in Exile, I'd be like, I don't think you guys necessarily need to. But like Obsidian and Double Fine are like ones where I'm like, oh yeah, no, they've definitely been struggling.
Yeah.
And now they get like full resources, freedom to do whatever, like a proper Q&A team, and the time. Like Microsoft is just like, please, just make something.
Yeah, make what you're good at, and I don't know. That's what's even better is the fact that they're allowed to still publish to PS4.
Yeah.
With with Psychonauts 2 for Double Fine, and then Outer Worlds for Obsidian.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just.
But we don't know how long that will last. I mean, it could.
I don't think it'll last. But
they have like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Which is on everything.
Exactly.
And I was just talking with Mike Ibarra, who's the Xbox VP, and he was bringing that up. The fact he's like, yeah, we have Minecraft. It's on everything. So like that's part of what Xbox wants now.
And it was even more wild when Miyamoto showed up on stage at Microsoft.
What was even better than that was when Banjo-Kazooie was announced
for Smash.
For xCloud
Yes.
Plus.
Yes. Nuts and Bolts 2.
Yeah.
Powered by the cloud.
Yeah.
It might still happen. It might still happen.
We have the whole week.
Nobody wants it.
What?
No, I'm just playing. That was me about Banjo-Kazooie. Nobody wants it. Anyway, people still want Banjo-Kazooie. What was a game that you kind of thought was one that stood out for you during the Microsoft stuff?
That's a real hard question.
Dang.
In my head, I'm like thinking.
Like how many things that we're talking about?
No, but I'll like think of games and I'll be like, oh, Ghostwire Tokyo. I was like, nope, that was
Bethesda.
Yep, that was Bethesda.
And
off the top of my head, what I remember, there was 12 Minutes, which was that thriller game.
Right.
There was Elden Ring, which was from George R.R. Martin's From Soft game.
Right.
Yeah.
There are a couple indie games. There's that deer game where you play. It was like the puzzle game where you play as the deer.
Yes.
With
good
the
art
fawn.
style. Art style was really cool.
So that's being worked on by this one person, this one dev who's been working on it since they were like 15.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, Phantasy Star Online 2.
Oh.
Which is very weird.
That's wild.
That was such a weird announcement.
This is a weird announcement, especially like when I was writing up the article. I was like, when did Phantasy Star Online 2 first come out? Like, it came out on PC in Japan in 2012.
Right.
Oh my god.
Like, that's such a fan play for very little. I don't know. Like, that's great. Like, I don't know, goodwill, right? Like, that's a goodwill move, but that's all it is. Like, ostensibly, but there's passion behind it because it's like, I don't know, a pretty niche product. Like, I know people that are very big Phantasy Star Online 2 fans, and try to get those.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I at least want to build that Sega connection, so Yakuza will come. Like, I'm fine. I'm fine with Yakuza on PC and PS4 because I have them already.
Right.
But for Xbox people, you need. I want you to taste it too.
Yeah, it would be nice for them to get a little bit of that stuff.
Yeah. So it's really weird. Like the Microsoft console, like in my head, I'm like even he said Elden Ring. Yeah, I'm gonna be excited.
It's funny. It's funny because when you say that, I forgot what that game was.
Right, but it was just like a CG trailer. I looked at it. I was like, okay, that's very Souls. I'd like to see what it is, and I'll be excited for it when I do see what it is. But
it's hard, right?
It was very Lord of the Ringsy, which was interesting, like very high fantasy, high concept kind of stuff. A Blair Witch game is coming out.
I was excited for that when that dropped because I thought it was going to be Outlast, a sequel to Outlast. And I love Outlast.
That was really weird because we were watching that, and my colleague Eric Van Allen was like, Blair Witch, and he did this in the middle of the trailer. He was like, this Blair Witch style game, this is really weird. And then it said Blair Witch, and we were just like, what?
Yeah. I realized it when, it's pretty late in the trailer, but when he points the camera at the guy standing in the corner looking, and I was like, this is Blair Witch. Yeah. And then it does the zoom out from the forest, and it has the Blair Witch symbol, and I was like, this is okay. That's a property to adapt.
I don't know if it still has the cultural relevance that you would think that it would need to kind of push as a game.
Sure.
But it could be the thing. Besides Blair Witch being a thing, side tangent, Terminator isn't everything this year. And I was just like, if you're going to bring back things, it feels like, I don't want to derail the conversation just yet because we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you're going to bring back stuff, it feels like, why not Blair Witch? If you're going to bring back everything that was new at some point.
I originally thought it was a new Slender Man game. Because the Slender Man game you play by looking through the camera. And I was like, all right.
But that wouldn't be like a show that's like a PC gaming show.
Sure. Yeah. But if you brought that to consoles, that might be a thing. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't be, holding up Slender Man. Look at this.
I don't remember there ever being an accolades trailer for Slender Man.
Slapping stickers on it, wreaths.
What do you think about Bleeding Edge?
It looked interesting. I was surprised that they had when they did all of these acquisitions. I was like, well, that's really cool, but all of that's going to be next Xbox. Mm-hmm. So sure, whatever. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they acquired Ninja Theory and already have Bleeding Edge, in a playable state that they can put it out. Yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't think I've played a Ninja Theory game, but I'm familiar with. But what? It's not out of spite. It just happened. It just happened that way.
It just happened that way.
But the way people talk about Hellblade and how it did so much to address anxiety and the way it wrote via game mechanics about mental health and stuff like that, and seeing it's this very critical darling. And then them going to 4v4, you melee game.
Yeah.
It's okay, that's fine. Do what you want. But I don't know. I would like to have seen
it felt out of sorts.
Yeah, I would like to see a continuation of some sort of thoughtful action game.
And I think they'll get back to that. But that's the kind of game that is going to take you 2-3 years or whatever to build.
Yeah.
Whereas Bleeding Edge is you build the characters, you build the basic systems, and then some arenas.
And if they're a Microsoft studio now, why not hire up an A and a B team? Why not have two separate teams? And you have one makes the Hellblade spiritual successor, and you have one that keeps putting content into Bleeding Edge.
I wonder if there's the folks at Ninja Theory right now who are just I don't ever want to make anything thoughtful again. I'm sick of making thoughtful games.
I'm sick of thinking.
I want I want to make something that just I don't have to think. I want people to just get cut and slashed up and beat up, and that's it. That's all I care about.
That's what they did.
That's the thing I actually want. They made that thing. They made that thing.
I can respect it. It seems like the DMC side of Ninja Theory is coming back out.
Mm.
I kind of want a DMC too. I just want to see what it would be.
Yeah, it would be dope.
It's so weird that they did DMC and then went back to Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
Right.
So. Yeah.
yeah, what came? Was there anything else from Microsoft? Do you want to talk about hardware?
The long Scarlet video.
Is that what we're calling it? The long Scarlet?
The long Scarlet video.
Hardware, like, reveals like that are so weird because it's like everyone's talking aspirational about hardware. And hardware design is also an art.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, and it's a craft, and that's really cool. But at the end of the day, like, I just need the specs, and I need to know what it looks like.
I mean, they kind of gave you the specs. It's very weird.
Right.
Like, I mean, obviously, I don't keep up with, like, the tech trades as much as I thought I did, because apparently SSDs and customized SSD buses are, like, the next wave of, like...
It is the new hotness.
Innovation for...
Kids are talking about that in the club right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Talk about Fortnite.
That's what you put... You dab and then you put it on your Tinder. You talk about SSD architecture.
Yeah.
You figure out the
interests.
Yeah.
Turn on.
I love fast drives.
Yeah. Talk to me about that solid state.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so the problem is like the stuff that they gave is essentially like the stuff that Sony gave.
Right.
Like Zen 2, Navi.
Yeah.
Like
here's
an SSD.
Great.
All right.
It seems weird now in retrospect because to me, I thought it was going to be a full hardware like reveal.
Yeah.
And like it feels weird now that Sony decided to jump the gun so early. It's like, all right, here's the PS5 specs because we're not going to be at E3 and Microsoft is, and we know they're going to show everything.
Yeah.
And then they didn't. And I'm like, what's the game theory?
Yeah, like
There's some stuff that was interesting that like so before I came here. Apparently, Phil Spencer confirmed that it's fully backward compatible.
Yep.
Right. Just like offhand.
Just offhand. Like that's the thing that you are on stage talking about your next Xbox, and you go, "Oh yeah, it's fully backward compatible."
Sure. Are we gonna get a Project Scarlet edition of the next Xbox?
Yeah, it'll have Sting on it, the wrestler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the singer. Because why would you put the singer on it?
Put ScarJo on there.
True, you could do that. I mean, you could embossed.
Yeah, like your signature.
It'll just be
signature edition, Scarlet Signature Edition.
I mean, if you're gonna do like, I would rather Sting, the musician, come on stage.
Oh, and then Sting, the wrestler, come out after him.
Yeah,
and then they make you choose. So put it up to a Twitter.
Call us. We'll plan your next conference.
We'll figure that part out. What did you think about? Well, first let me ask you because we're on hardware stuff. Do you feel like they missed an opportunity by not having the box on stage?
No.
No?
I absolutely.
Not if they don't have it coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have it coming in the next 6 months, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, not that much. It's I just finished talking to Aaron Greenberg earlier today, and I didn't get a chance to ask him that question, but I still felt like the overall part of their conference was pretty strong. Like I felt like even though they didn't get that one part,
sure,
which everyone was kind of hinging their conference on,
Right.
it felt like there was a for everyone message that you could attach to, right? If you're starting to build up that momentum towards a launch, right?
Right.
I wonder though, like Dylan was saying, is like, what was the psychology around not doing it?
Right.
When you have literally all the eyes right now.
Yeah, why all the fanfare of like, oh, it's going to be a 2-hour-long press conference and like, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, okay, like if you're not ready to show the box, like just then don't mention it at all.
Yeah.
Because like we don't need.
They couldn't not mention it.
You're right.
I guess.
Then people would be like, come on, man, we know you're working on it.
Microsoft is in trouble.
Sure. I mean, I guess it's weird to me because I just want to see the whole thing. I don't like this piecemeal idea because I mean, who does it really benefit except like you don't need to stick the idea in our head that you're making another Xbox. We know that.
Right.
So what benefit does this have? Is this like are you like trying to tell devs that don't know yet that you have like a dev kit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that they sold xCloud well?
Not on stage, but then I played it. And, Gears of War 4 was a little bit fuzzy.
Okay.
It had some artifacting. Latency was fine. But the one was Halo 5 Guardians running 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Really?
I played it. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Did they tell you where the servers were?
I didn't until a later interview, and he was like, yeah, the server for this is like 400 miles that way.
Okay.
Like, okay.
That's dope.
Fair enough.
I appreciate that.
I don't necessarily think that the infrastructure is there
Right.
across the world for that.
Yeah.
Right.
But as a proof of concept, I picked it up and played it, and I was like, okay, this looks really good for a phone.
Yeah. What about Bethesda? We're moving on to Bethesda. BE3.
Did they talk about anything new?
They talked a lot of
Tokyo.
Okay.
Wire
Ghost. Tokyo Wire Ghost.
Tokyo Ghost Wire.
Nope. Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire Tokyo. Look,
Bad name.
it's
Toasting
three
ghosts.
words together. We're just gonna mix them up.
Yes.
And Deathloop. But neither of those. And this is the weird thing. Like we were like real excited, and I was writing them up, and I was like, neither of those were gameplay trailers.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
But I'm super excited for Deathloop.
Yeah. You're super excited for. I'm excited for both of the art direction and the Tokyo Ghost Wire, Tokyo Wire Ghost, whatever.
Yes, the evil within Tokyo.
Yes, the evil within Tokyo.
Drift.
It's the art direction was great, so I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but what is it?
It's I don't know.
The thing that it was a lot of like non-gameplay things this whole year at E3 actually with Elden Ring, with like Microsoft and all the other stuff. The one thing that I do remember that will stay with me after this thing is over is how no one apologized for Fallout 76 at all.
Well, at least they addressed it.
Todd Howard had a very nice cheeky moment in that beginning part of the conversation, but I heard not one sorry in any of that stuff. And to top it off, people got really excited at dialogue trees.
But so the two games, Fallout 76 and Anthem, at least Fallout 76, they keep updating it.
Yeah.
And yes, the Wastelanders update is essentially, hey, we put Fallout back in Fallout.
Yeah, we put what you wanted in the game. Did you see also it's not the Fallout 4 dialogue system? It's like the Fallout 3 dialogue system. Yeah, it's like, oh, charisma, here's what you would say. Because they didn't record lines for the characters.
Right.
But, I mean, I think universally everyone prefers the Fallout 3
Yeah, it was good.
dialogue system.
It was better.
Yeah, so that was their make good. That was their baby comeback.
Man.
Yeah. I'm excited. It got me on board.
It was the first time when I heard so many woos in a press conference that I was like, did they let Nintendo fans?
Yeah, you remember that guy screaming?
I was close enough, so like I could see over the balcony because I was pretty high up, and in that front row, it was a lot of folks who were like really big Elder Scrolls Online fans.
Yes.
Right? So they had them kind of pushed up to the front, and dudes were like, yeah, it was like Coyote Ugly up in the front row.
I mean, there were a couple of woos for like Elder Scrolls Blades.
Yeah,
So,
or like Commander Keen. Just, woo!
I kind of like Blades a lot. Like I like Blades as a concept. I played it. And
I played a little bit of it.
Were you excited about Blades for Switch?
I'm not wooing.
Is that your moment?
I'm not. No.
Switchblades, please.
No.
Switchblades.
No one should woo for that. Like, I get it if you're super excited and hot for it, but like, I'm not wooing for that game in that space. That's okay. It's a dope game. It's fun, but like, the amount of excitement towards the actual things that were being shared, I was a little bit taken aback.
Yeah, there's very little probably that a developer can announce that I'd just be like up and like wooing and just.
I mean, the Keanu thing was really dope in the Cyberpunk thing. That like I got a woo out of that. I don't know where the woo came from in my body, but it came out. But
up.
Yeah, it was like it was in my body and it just manifested. It was like onomatopoeia. It was like woo.
We didn't even talk about the
Keanu?
Cyberpunk stuff. Yeah.
Oh, see, that was at the Xbox thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was at the Xbox thing. But it was like the thing that I kind of came away from the Bethesda thing was like they don't have anything to show.
I mean, like they're in a down year because like Doom Eternal's a known quantity. The next Wolfenstein's a known quantity. Obviously, this Deathloop is Arcane's. It's not even Arcane Austin. It's Arcane Lyon, like their French studio. So who knows what Austin studio is doing? But yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
It's hard because they just don't have like a lot of stuff to actually put out at this moment. The interesting thing about how they kind of cycled it through was like, everything that you care about, we're gonna show it at QuakeCon. Yeah, it was like, I was like, that's great and all, but
DoomCon.
yeah, it's like DoomCon, but I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but so, like, nobody, like, you already did the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already did the thing.
The out of left field thing that really excited me in that was the Orion stuff.
That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was super cool, actually, because that was like, that felt like something that is going to be moving the industry forward in an interesting way.
Right.
And I just don't know how. I don't know how it works. You know what I mean? It's like, it seems like one of those things that's like, here's an add-on for Unreal Engine that you can plug into your thing, and then it just does all this other stuff that works.
Yeah.
Did you get any other information about any of that stuff?
No, but that was one of those things that, like, when that happened, I was like, oh, this is like the old E3s.
Yes.
Because that's how, like, E3 used to be. It'd be like, here's some games, and then let's talk about our financials and the tech stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, that moment came up, and I was just like, this is really weird.
Yeah. I saw someone tweet, they were like, are we back at GDC?
Yeah.
It's like getting more like, I was like, but I mean, I appreciate that stuff because as a developer, I want, like, I have no idea how, like, especially in the indie space, like, how do indies approach Stadia or xCloud or any of that stuff? Like, how does it benefit them when we're already kind of being, squished on both ends about, monetarily and trying to find success that way? And if, Bethesda's coming out, or id, I guess, because it's technically like the id people, they're coming out and telling me that they've created a, middleware solution to help, make my games run more efficiently on streaming services. That's great. Well, like, why wouldn't I use that? Like, tell me more. And the weird thing was they were like, we have it. We've created this middleware for, like, all the popular engines.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird coming from id, who have always been very proud of, like, their engine tech with id tech.
Right.
Coming out and being like, yeah, it's gonna. They're not saying it by name, but it's like it's obviously gonna support UE and Unity and I don't know, Lumberjack. No.
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, it's gonna be id Tech 7, I think it would be now.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
So I was like, okay, it's let's go.
Yeah, bring back mega textures. I'm ready.
Yeah, and then it was like, no, not really.
Yeah, there were too many dragons for my taste.
Yeah.
It felt like they shoehorned the dragon.
It's the season of the dragon.
It was the season of the dragon. Everything was. It was like, how many permutations of dragon can you add to a word at this point? It was like dragonborn, dragon leg, dragon toe.
Dragon toe.
I even had Elder Scrolls Legends there. I had legit forgot about that game.
I totally forgot that was a thing. I was like, that's a thing still? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy it's a thing because I really forgot that it was there. And I was like, I haven't had a card game like that in a while. So why not jump into those kinds of things?
Really surprised. I mean, they said it beforehand, but still surprised. No mention of Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6. I know they're far away, next console generation. It seems like, I don't know. Like, it makes sense that they keep coming back to Elder Scrolls Legends because it's an existing product and it's something that they want to have a long lifespan with. But I don't know. It's like, why was last year the year they needed to show the future?
Because so they did Elder Scrolls Blades, and then they showed you the Elder Scrolls 6. Without the Elder Scrolls 6 like CG trailer thing, what you have is Diablo Immortal without Diablo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That's a good point.
Is just like if Blizzard had said, here's Diablo Immortal, but here's a trailer for Diablo 4, which we know they're working on.
Right. And they like axed it at the last second.
Right. So the difference there in the response.
That's a good point.
That's a really good point. That's a super good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then Ubisoft came out. I think Ubisoft did their thing backwards, but
What do you mean?
Because
They showed the stuff.
Watch Dogs was like Watch Dogs Legion was definitely
was the thing.
Oh, they should have ended with that as opposed to leading to it.
Yeah.
It's because then I think about that right after watching the whole thing, and I'm trying to think, what would you have thrown in that spot?
I would put Breakpoint first.
Or Just Dance, like, which is what they usually do. They usually start with like, here you go. You know it's coming. Here it is.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
No Rabbids this year, which was interesting. No Mario stuff.
Yeah.
No Mario Rabbids, which I thought was going to be
No Nintendo collaboration. at all.
True.
I didn't see the whole thing. I saw my boy John Barenthal on stage, and then I had to
with his dog.
That was great.
Which was another moment that
I can't even front. Like, John Barenthal is good at what he does.
I like
tweeted
him.
that out. Like, it was one of those things where I was like, I'm expecting him to do the Shane Walking
turn.
Dead thing.
Yeah.
But he you root for that cat.
That's why
Like, he's a good dude. He seems like a good dude.
He's smiling. This is really weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It was super weird. I was like, I've never seen him smile like that.
So I've never watched Walking Dead. Like
Sure.
I've read a little bit of the comics. I know like the Shane plot line. So to me, he's not Shane. He's Frank Castle.
Right,
Yes.
the Punisher,
Yeah.
but same deal.
Right. But Frank Castle's he's a good person ultimately. Shane was not.
But he doesn't smile. So like
That's
John
fair.
Bernthal
Yeah.
smiling like,
Yeah.
hey guys,
Yeah.
how's everyone doing? It's like,
What?
that's real weird.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I checked out after that because I need to catch a ride. But like I heard like the Just Dance stuff afterwards. They announced like some new games and stuff. But like I don't know, like I'm just like super excited for Watch Dogs and Breakpoint. I didn't play any Wildlands, but maybe it's just John Barenthal selling me on Breakpoint. But I'm excited for Breakpoint for some reason.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Wildlands, but like Watch Dogs Legion, like when they were showing it to us, I was just like, oh wow, this is pretty. And then I was talking with them in interviews. I was like, so every character, and there's stuff that they didn't show. Like when you look at someone's mobile, they just showed like here's your name, here's your occupation, and like the perk that you have.
Sure.
But you can go deeper and bring up a whole list of like,
Blood type.
here's their family member, here's the things that they care about,
Right.
like, and all of that is part of the game.
So I don't know if they mentioned this at all outside of that, outside of the press conference, but are they recording all of this dialogue, or is these like voice fonts kind of thing?
This is the one thing that I was not able to sort of like pin down, because each of us, when we did the demo, were allowed to choose who we wanted to recruit.
Okay.
Which changed the one cutscene that we had in the demo.
Right.
And they were like vastly different depending on who the person was.
Yeah.
So, like in my head, I'm like, there's got to be an upper limit of voice actors that
There's got to be.
It has to be.
So like 20 or 30 voice actors, and maybe eventually you'll hear like the same person.
It's because like that was a similar question to like Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War.
Right.
Like how much like just raw MP3 is in this game for like recording that stuff. And I mean, it's always, to me personally, always been a thing of like, I feel like once voice fonts of like the Google Assistant in the series of the world become more natural, and like we get out of the uncanny valley stage of that, like that's going to be a huge asset for games.
Yeah.
Because like that's a huge like dev cost. And so if you can like help reduce that, if you just bring the voice talent in, just be like, all right, give us your voice font, dude. All your phononyms.
Yeah.
That would be so nice, because they also announced like before the stream, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey story creator mode, which is cool because it's, as far as I can tell, like almost essentially their tools that they make for. But Odyssey has full voice.
Right.
And the story creator tool makes quests that are essentially like the full game, but there's no voice because there's no way to do that.
Yeah.
And so like that's like the missing piece there.
So I'm curious about that. But yeah, like they show the guy in the Watch Dogs trailer, and you're like, okay, this is your main character, and then they smoke him.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes.
I was really impressed, and we're wrapping up soon, but the thing that impressed me about that part was just how it did feel like each individual person that you kind of took over or added to your group did really feel different.
Yeah.
You know, like Grandma, I forgot what homegirl's name
Retired
was.
assassin.
Retired assassin. I fell in love with her character.
Yeah.
Even in that small place that, didn't like really do the whole exposition about it, but I was like, oh, I want Golden Girls assassins to just roll free and just like have a squad of just like older women just like killing the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super good.
I was wondering if they were, because they showed us the trailer that they showed at the end with Grandma like murking the dude in the back of the head.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they were going to do that in the gameplay reveal. So I was like, Because the one guy I picked, like, if you saw the perks, one of them was like, will die randomly.
Oh, really?
So the guy that I chose to recruit was one of those because I was hoping that he was going to die.
Oh, really?
In the middle of the day.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I saw that. I was curious what that perk
that's
meant.
dope.
Because each of the perks is like, there's a positive one and a negative one. And like, I was scanning through and they were like, yeah, just pick one.
Yeah.
And so I picked this dude who had like 100% melee damage, and his negative perk was will die randomly. And I was like, oh, I need that to happen.
Oh, interesting.
So, like Leaf said, we're kind of getting close to wrap up. I kind of want to ask, so like Square's happening as we're talking.
Right.
So we're going to go into a world where Avengers finally exists. Nintendo's tomorrow. Any sort of hopes, dreams, expectations for the remaining secrets yet to be revealed?
I mean, they already announced FF7 Remake's release date.
Which is wild. It has one.
Yeah, even though it's episodic, so it's just the
Sure.
first part. But Avengers, I want to know what Avengers is.
Me too.
Like, just period, like, what are you making? Because I can't even, like, there's no framework.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of game is it? Is it a straight RPG? Is it action adventure? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you, Kahlief?
Avengers, yeah. I'm excited to hear what that thing actually is because I've heard rumors and heard people talk about it in very clouded and shrouded terms. And
Yeah.
now I want to know what Square is going to do with all that. Now they have the IP of all
Right,
IPs.
like, you have that.
you can't botch this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be cool
Can't
to
pull
see.
an EA.
You can make
I mean,
Avengers
they definitely
EA
could.
They could.
the NBA Live of
Oh,
Woof. Woof.
of Avengers games. I'm sorry.
We're getting some shake
they
heads
still have
from.
the license to be alive.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
All right. Well, on that note, I think it's a good place to wrap it up.
Totally.
Yeah. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
I enjoyed
Talking
it.
about this. We have the rest of the week to look forward to. Kahlief,
Yeah.
another segment in the bag.
Another segment in the bag. I think we did fairly well. I think we came through with shining colors.
Had ourselves on the back.
We
I
did.
mean, I was here.
Yes.
No, I mean
it was all you.
You were the star of the
Yeah.
show.
You put the team on your back.
You were the Captain America of this team.
Exactly.
Yes.
But that's our last segment for today.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick it back up tomorrow, right?
Yeah. We may pick it up tomorrow. We'll see. We have to figure out how everything's going to work. We'll let everybody know on our social channel.
At the very least, they will exist in some form in the future.
This will all be on YouTube. It'll be on the Sponomy YouTube. We'll also be pinging back and forth between our podcast feeds so that you'll hear stuff on Wardcast. You'll hear stuff on Sponomy's feed. So we'll get all that stuff out to you on our social media feed, and you'll hear about it for the rest of the week too.
Well, on that note, thanks, guys.
Dope.
Indeed.
Have a
Peace.
good one.